7 verses. Mark's Gospel, chapter 5, 7 verses. They came to the other side of the sea, to the country of Gennesaret, and when Jesus had stepped out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. He lived among the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain, for he had often been bound with shackles and chains. But he wrenched the chains apart, and he broke the shackles in pieces. No one had the strength to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and on the mountains, he was always crying out and cutting himself with stones. And when he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and fell down before him. And crying out with a loud voice, he said, What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you by God, do not torment me.
For he was saying to him, Come out of the man, to an unclean spirit. And Jesus asked him, What is your name? He replied, My name is Legion, for we are many. And he begged him earnestly not to send them out of the country. Now a great herd of pigs was feeding there on the hillside, and they begged him, saying, Send us to the pigs, let us enter them. So he gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out entered the pigs, and the herd, numbering about 2,000, rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the sea. The herdsmen fled and told it in the city and in the country, and people came to see what it was that had happened.
And they came to Jesus and saw the demon-possessed man, the one who had a legion, sitting there, clothed in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who had seen it described to them what had happened to the demon-possessed man and to the pigs. And they began to beg Jesus to depart from their region. As he was getting into the boat, the man who had been possessed with demons begged him that he might be with him. And he did not permit him, but said to him, Go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you. And he went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and everyone marveled. And when Jesus had crossed again in the boat of the other side, a great crowd gathered about him, and he was beside the sea.
Then came one of the ruler of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and seeing him, he fell at his feet and implored him earnestly, saying, My little daughter is the point of death. Come and lay your hands on him, so that may be made well and live. And they went with him, and a great crowd followed him, and round about him, and there was a woman who had a discharge of blood for 20 years, and who had suffered much under my physician, and had spent all that she had, and was no better but rather worse. She had heard a report about Jesus, and came up behind him in the crowd, and touched his garment. For she said, If I touch even his garment, I will be made well. And immediately the flow of blood dried up, and she filled his body to heal on his disease.
And Jesus, perceiving in himself that power had gone out from him, immediately turned about in the crowd and said, "Who touched my garments?" And his disciples said to him, "You see the crowd pressing around you, and yet you say, 'Who touched me?'" And he looked around to see who had done it. But the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came in fear and trembling and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." While he was still speaking, there came from the ruler's house some who said, "Your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further?"
But overhearing what they said, Jesus said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Do not fear, only believe." And he allowed no one to follow him except Peter and James and John the brother of James. They came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and Jesus saw a commotion, people weeping and wailing loudly. And when he had entered, he said to them, "Why are you making a commotion and weeping? The child is not dead, but is sleeping." And they laughed at him, but he put them all outside and looked the child's father and mother, and those who were with him, and went in where the child was. Taking her by the hand, he said to her, "Talitha komi," which means, "Little girl, I say to you, arise." And immediately the girl got up and began walking, for she was 12 years of age. And they were immediately overcome with amazement. And he strictly charged them that no one should notice, and told them to give her something to eat.
Chapter 5, verse 1 to 20 is the story Jesus heals a demon-possessed man. Actually, this story also in the Matthew Gospel, chapter 8. Last time we learned about this story. And also Luke's Gospel, chapter 8, also there's the same story. And Mark's also describing the same story, but Mark is more detailed about this story, more than Matthew Gospel and Luke's Gospel. The Mark's Gospel describing more in detail. Verse 3 to 4. The Mark described this man. What is he like? He lived among the tombs. Have you experienced? You live among the tombs on the mountain, our 성생공단. No one could control him. No one could bind him, even with the chain. He broke the chain and he broke the shackles. So no one could control him, even himself. He couldn't control himself. So his condition is like the one who is the slave of Satan. The Bible says he is the demon-possessed man. If someone is possessed by the Satan, they are like this person. Actually, the people, since Adam and Eve, because of sin, we all men, we became sinner and we are the slave of Satan. We are like a demon-possessed man. The person who are outside of Jesus Christ, they are still the slave of Satan and slave of sin. Actually, sin makes the people slave of the Satan. And if anyone became the slave of sin, slave of Satan, no one, they cannot save themselves by themselves. They cannot save by themselves from the slavery of the sin and slavery of Satan. This man shows us the condition of sinners. Sinners, we are like a demon-possessed man. We cannot control our sin. We cannot save us from our slavery of the Satan. As we know the end of this story, Jesus, he cast out unclean spirit, and then unclean spirit, they came out of this man, and his evil spirit, they just went into the 2,000 pigs. Maybe 2,000 pigs we can eat. 올라오고 삼겹살. 2,000 pigs. Anyway, 2,000 pigs, they died because of unclean spirit. And then people, they just counting. Like me, they just counting. 2,000 pigs. This is very big deal. They lose their money. They just thinking material loss. They just thinking material, physical loss, but they couldn't see spiritual benefit. They could not see the spiritual benefit, that is salvation of one's soul from the demon. Because they are spiritual blind, they couldn't see. Wow, this is very spiritual benefit. One lost soul just returned from the demon. Verse 21 to 43, there's the two stories. Jesus heals the woman who suffered for 12 years by bleeding. Jennifer, you are okay now? Nose bleeding, right? Bleeding. This woman suffered for 12 years from the bleeding. Verse 22 and 23. And there's another event is one of the ruler of the synagogue. One of the leader of the synagogue, his name is Jairus. This man has little daughter. Little daughter is dying. His daughter is dying. That's why he desperately came to Jesus Christ, and he's begging Jesus Christ. You just come to my house. My daughter is dying. That's the two stories. There are two stories in these verses. First, let us see the woman who suffered by bleeding. 26. This woman suffered because of bleeding for 12 years, and she met many doctors, many physicians. But result was no better, but getting worse. So 29, 34, there is significant, the word 29 and 34. This woman has disease. 29 says she was healed of her disease, and 34, be healed of your disease. This woman has disease. Disease is bleeding. Actually, this disease, in Greek word, mastikos. This disease means mastikos. Mastikos means damage, injured by something. Actually, literally, this disease means weak. WHIP. WHIP means weeping. Jesus, before he died on the cross, soldiers, they also weep, flogging. So this disease means this woman is damaged by very strong thing. very severe damage by something very strong. This woman has disease, but disease is very severe, damaged by something very strong. This woman is like a demon possessed man. This woman, it seems like a physical disease, but spiritually, since Adam and Eve, all men, all sinners, they are damaged by Satan. Because of sin, this sin also affects the people. It's like a weeping. And people, they are damaged by also Satan. So the spiritual condition of the people, the sinner, is like this woman. For 12 years, unceasing bleeding, not stop the bleeding. This is like a hopeless, helpless. This is the condition of sinner. Good news to the such a helpless sinner is Jesus. Jesus is the good news. This woman, he heard about what? Jesus Christ. Verse 27. She had heard the report about what? Jesus. Such a helpless sinner, they need good news. Good news is that Jesus himself. This woman heard about the good news, Jesus Christ. And 28, she had the faith. She has a faith. If I touch the Jesus, his clothes, maybe I will be made well. I will be healed. So she has a faith about Jesus Christ. This woman is healed. But when she was healed, she touched Jesus Christ and she felt that, verse 29, immediately the flow of blood dried up and she felt, she was healed of her disease. But this is interesting. We think when she touched the Jesus' clothes, she completely healed? No. Jesus, he mentioned, verse 34. Jesus, he said to her, "Daughter, your faith made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." When this woman touched Jesus Christ, the healing just starting, not completely healed. But Jesus declared, "You will be healed now from your disease." What does it mean? People, they just thinking, miracle is like a faith. This woman, he just touching Jesus Christ and the healing was starting. But this is not complete healing. Jesus, he just declared, faith is not only miracle. Faith is that faith in Jesus Christ, faith in Jesus' word. Faith comes from the word of Christ. That's the Romans chapter 10 says, faith comes from hearing. Hearing what? Hearing the word of Christ. True faith comes from word of God, word of Jesus Christ. Jesus just teaching, you are healed because of true faith. True faith comes from the word of Jesus Christ, Jesus himself. True faith is not based on the miracle. The true faith is based on the word of God, word of Jesus Christ. Jesus is not only the good news, but Jesus, his word. is the true good news. Because this woman was healed when Jesus spoke. And then another happening is Jairus' daughter. Actually, Jairus, he came first. This woman was bleeding. This woman just appeared in the midst. Actually, Jairus came to Jesus first. And actually, Jesus, he should have departed quickly to heal his daughter of Jairus. But Jesus was delayed. Maybe the Jairus were very disappointed. Oh, Jesus, you must hurry. But Jesus just talking with this woman on the street, and we know the result. The daughter already died. This man was very desperate. But Jesus was delayed to get his house. And then, verse 35. While Jesus talking with this woman who suffered by bleeding, some people, they came to Jesus Christ from the house of these Jairus. And these people say, they spoke to Jairus, your daughter is already dead. What does it mean? Now it's over. Jesus is useless. They said, it's over. Your daughter is dead. Jesus is nothing for your daughter. But 36, verse 36 says, this is very interesting word. 36 said, but what? Overhearing. Jesus heard about that, and then Jesus overhearing means ignoring. Jesus, this overhearing in Greek word, parako means ignoring and rejecting. Jesus heard about this. This daughter, this little girl already died, but Jesus, when he heard, he just ignored. And he just reject this negative comment. And Jesus, he just went to the house of Jairus, rejecting the negative comment, and people, their response was very negative. Verse 39, 40. Because Jesus said, while you're making a commotion and weeping, while you're crying, this child is not dead, but sleeping. Then the people, they are just laughing at Jesus. You're very negative. Jesus, you are nothing now. You are useless. But Jesus, he ignored and rejecting their word. And now she is just sleeping. And don't worry. Only believe. And then, people, they just laughing at Jesus Christ, but Jesus, he declared, verse 41, Talitha kumi. Jesus said, just get up, arise. This arise, this word is the same meaning of resurrection. Jesus said, you arise from the dead. Which means you resurrect. Jesus said, little girl, you just resurrect from the dead. This daughter, this little girl is bad, but this little girl just raised from the dead. This is like overlaps with Jesus, His death and His resurrection. Jesus is the one who can make us alive from the death. Actually, from the spiritual death. Jesus is the one who can make the sinners alive from the spiritual death. Not physical vision, but spiritual resurrection, spiritual vision. If anyone raised from the spiritual death, they can get everlasting, eternal life. We can guess this little girl, she was risen from the dead. She was resurrected from the dead, but this little girl, maybe she died again. But if anyone is in Jesus Christ, if anyone believes in Jesus Christ, they can be raised from the spiritual death and they never die. Even though they die, they never die. They get eternal life. Eternal life. My brothers and sisters, in crisis, in trouble, we must listen to the word of Jesus Christ. Like this little girl, she is just dead, and this is very trouble. But this woman, little girl, just raised from the dead because of Jesus' word. When Jesus spoke, this little girl just risen or rose. But this man, many people there, they just crying. Even though Jesus was there, Jesus said, "You just believe on me. Do not afraid. Just believe me." But they do not listen to Jesus' word. They just wrapping it in Christ. But in the trouble, we must pay attention to the word of Jesus Christ, the word of God. Why? Jesus, He's the one who can be raised from His death. Jesus also died, but He is resurrected. And Jesus is the only one who can make the dead person from their dead person alive from their spiritual death. Let's pray. Father, thank you for your word. Actually, Jesus' word is the good news. And Jesus' word is powerful. And Jesus' word is the good news. And Jesus Himself is good news for the sinners like her, then possessed man, who suffered by bleeding for 12 years, this woman, and like a daughter of Jairus. We are like also dead person before outside of Jesus Christ. We are helpless, we are hopeless, we are miserable because of sin and death. But you made us alive through the Jesus Christ. And we never die. Though we die, we have eternal life in Jesus Christ. And in our Christian journey, we encounter so many troubles, difficulties, but when we are in the despair, we want to listen to the word of Jesus Christ. and hearing the word of Jesus Christ provide the true faith that we can depend on Jesus Christ. And this faith bring us to the true life, eternal life, and true light, Jesus Christ, who is our only hope and comfort. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.